All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. We're so happy to have you here. This morning's guest speaker, I guess maybe I should introduce myself because I don't know. Does everybody know me? My name is Debbie Morrow. I'm the founder of Real Estate Agent Referral Network and Marketing Tips, our Facebook group that has 362,000 members in it. If you're not in there, please join. Ramjel has dropped my contact information in the chat, and there is a link to the Facebook group. There's also a link to our YouTube channel where you'll find all of the replays after we're done. So, this morning's guest speaker is Viani Wilson, and you're going to notice that he has a little bit of an accent, and it is quite a bit later in the day where he lives. But he is coming today to talk to us about how to create authority with your audience and how to curate an audience that actually wants to buy from you. So, Viani, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came up with, what you're doing, and then he has a really cool tool that he created to make doing all of that super easy. So, Viani, please tell us all about you and what you're going to teach us today.
Yeah, we'll just dive straight in. So accent-wise, I'm British. I think we all know. But I actually live in Spain. My family's still in the UK. I was born and raised in Germany. It's a full European situation over here. My wife's half Spanish. So for us, it's 4 p.m. But yeah, my background is in sales systems. Much more recently, obviously, AI has come into that. So AI-based sales systems. But all of this is in the world of high-ticket sales, right? So how do we create an environment where sales is as easy as humanly possible, right? Because sales can be quite easy and doesn't need to be this difficult thing. So what I'm going to do is talk on this topic. Am I good to share the screen? So what we'll do is I'm going to go through this. We'll open up the floor for questions afterwards, just because obviously we're getting in flow and there's some core concepts that I really want to cover with you guys. And we've got a really cool goodie for you today that you can just take away. And even if you don't care about the tool I'm going to talk about afterwards, you're still going to get tons and tons of value, and it's going to fundamentally change the way that you do business for the better. So let's talk about authority content that converts, how to position yourself as the go-to real estate agent. And this actually applies for any kind of high ticket business. We'll get into that now. Quick thing about me, let's see if I've forgotten anything other than that I'm bald and that my head is really shiny, like you can see from this picture. Last 6-7 years, I've worked with 6-7 and multi 8-figure businesses that are generally being high ticket and help them directly make over 10 million in sales using content strategies like what we're going to talk about right now that plug into sales systems. And there's some fundamental bits and pieces about content that I think are super important that we'll talk about. And today we'll be sharing the content frameworks with you that build authority and a bigger client book. All right, so we're all very familiar with. Let me start my clock, actually. I know we've got about 15 minutes. I want to make sure that we're on the right timing here. Cool. So we're all very familiar with the sentence, your network is your net worth. And so just right now, before we start, let's all think of someone that has real influence, because actually this all boils down to influence. And this could be a political figure, it could be an influencer, it could be someone with a small following, but who is crushing it. And we want to ask ourselves, well, why is this person winning? Why are they getting so much more disproportionately out of what seems like, in air quotes, the same amount of work? Because some people somehow seem to do less, but they get more out of it. And so this is here to answer one of the levers that these people use that we're going to teach you to use so you can do the same thing, okay? The answer is this: they go deep with their network. And this doesn't matter if it's online or offline, both things work. But here's the core concept: deeper reach into your audience, into your network, means you have a deeper pull and deeper persuasive power. The more you can move your network to do something, the more money you will make. The more that you can stand in the middle of that transaction, this person wants to buy a house, this person wants to sell a house, and the more they come to you for those transactions, the more money you make. So consider this. We're going to flip the role of content on its head. A lot of people think about content as oh, we're putting information out there. And the truth is, information is fine. You know, people Google things, now people chat GPT things. Like information is becoming the most accessible thing of all time. Information itself doesn't necessarily provide value. And so the point of content in the context of what we're going to do, which is how do we go deeper with our network? How do we make sales easy? How do we remove all the friction? Is to strategically align people's belief systems with your own, obviously by being authentic. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. That is a very short-lived strategy that doesn't work. But when this clicks, when you have this pull inside of your audience and you've got deeper persuasive power, sales are easy and natural. Now, there's the old way to do this and there's the new way to do this, and both of these work, and the old way definitely isn't worth doing anymore. Like, it's still worth doing, for sure. The old way that we've been doing for thousands of years across all types of businesses is one-to-one conversations, door knocking, cold calling. We're having one-on-one consultative conversations with people, or we do a kind of slightly more scaled version of this. We do open houses, we do networking, like a 1 to 20 opportunity that we can sell, or we can build relationships. And the new way has a practically infinite scalability online. And it's as many people as see your content. And the truth about authority is that a lot of people think, oh, well, content's really difficult. I don't know what to make. And we're going to show you how to do it super easily. But I want you to think about this as we go. Document in real time what is happening. Don't create for the sake of creating. Creating without the inspiration of why you're creating feels really hard. If I said to you right now, create a post about X topic, and you had to sit down and summon that from within yourself, that's a difficult task. But if there's something in the moment that's cool that you want to share, that's much easier. So we're documenting, we're not creating for the sake of it. And there's two primary goals. If you can do these two things, you win disproportionately. And we've seen this with coaches, consultants, real estate agents, brokers. It doesn't matter who it is. The more influence you have, the better. So there's two things we want to work on. Increasing network size with red hot leads. This is, in this context, buyers, sellers, etc. And two, increasing your affinity and your authority and your influence with these people. And a quick note on this, because a lot of people will say, oh, but I don't have 50K followers or whatever the thing might be. Audience depth is much better than audience size. No one wants broke influencer syndrome. There's enough people out there that have 100,000 followers that make literally no money because no one sees them as an authority. They are just entertainment. They are just whatever it is. So these people have to do sponsorships. They get paid 2K to push whatever products, right? This is different. This is about you being the authority. And when you have depth and that relationship with your audience, life gets much, much easier. So this is all good. It sounds great in theory. What is the actual problem? Well, there's three types of agents typically. Which one are you? Number one is the few and far between content poster. We'll call them the ghost agent. Maybe they run around wearing this kind of stuff. They're kind of hiding themselves because they're afraid to post. They don't know what to say. And even if they did want to say something, they're kind of worried about judgment. There's too much internal friction for them to create the content. And that means that they just don't put any out. And the result is we're stuck to the old way of doing things only, which is one-on-one, maybe open houses and so on and so forth. But the result is no authority, and on a leveraged scale, no affinity on a leveraged scale, and very little leads other than the ones that you have to directly hunt for, and that costs a lot of energy. Number two is the inconsistent creator. So this is the confused agent, let's say. Posts regularly-ish, but no real structure, right? We're just posting because we should be posting. They're teaching more, or they're random sharing, and it feels really busy, but not much is really happening. They might have a few inbound leads here and there, but it's inconsistent and there's no clear strategy. And this point, perhaps even more so than this one, it just feels like we're wasting time. We're doing content, but what's the point of all this anyway? It's not generating anything. And type three is the authority figure. So this is the magnetic agent. We've got an engaged following. Now, I want to be clear on this. Not millions. It could be 500. It could be 1,000. I know people making multiple seven figures a year with followings of 1,000. It doesn't have to be this giant thing. But the point is this, they are seen as the go-to person for that segment. They effortlessly attract new clients because they are the go-to person. They're the logical choice. They're always closing, always earning, and the result is a consistent stream of leads and sales. So that's what we want to talk about today. How do the type 3 agents do it? The solution is two things today. One of them is I'm going to walk you through this gift that I have for you that, again, if you do nothing else but take this and implement it, you will benefit disproportionately, right? You will win more just by doing this, and it's totally free. And then what I want to do is show you a demo of the tool that I built to make this type of structure and content really, really easy, okay? So the gift, first things first. Debbie, should we stop for questions here really quickly, just for 2 minutes, or shall we just go straight into the gift?
Sure, we can go ahead and stop for questions.
Cool. We've got like 2 minutes, just really quickly. Has anyone got any questions about this so far?
I do.
Go for it.
My name is Jolie. I'm in Jersey, in case you couldn't tell with my accent.
Hi, Jolie.
It's not as pretty as yours. Anyway, so my niche is also seniors. However, they don't go online. So how do you compensate for that?
Where do they go?
Print, they still, I guess.
No. So the question is, okay, so if it's seniors specifically, I imagine there's some amount of seniors that go online, but if we're talking really senior, then
Yes.
maybe not. But the rule is still the same. We want to be where they are. So
Right.
if you're working with seniors specifically, there might be certain activities that they do. For example, here in Valencia in Spain, where I live, we have seniors that do, I think it's called Nordic walking, where they're walking with those sticks.
Yeah.
Right, there will be groups of people. So your point of leverage within this will be to go and hang out with those people. That's your most leveraged activity.
Okay.
And Viani, I just want to add something. A lot of times when people are working with seniors, one of the things that you need to recognize is a lot of times the true seniors aren't the decision makers. They're not the ones who are selling their parents' houses so that they can move into assisted living. So the people that we want to talk to are the adult children who are the decision makers and who are making those moves for their parents. So I think this is still a great place to put your content, online, because the people that you need to talk to so that you can work with the seniors are the adult children of those seniors.
That's a super, super good point, Debbie. Thank you for sharing that. It brings me to another point as well. If you have a specific niche, be the category king or queen of that niche. This is you. You will be the authority figure. You will be known for this niche. And to Debbie's point, she's 100% spot on. The people that are making those decisions aren't those seniors. It's their kids who are on social media, right? So that's a really good point. Thank you for sharing. We've got one more question, probably, if anyone's got anything else. Cool. Let's crack on to our gift for the day. Okay, cool. So what I've made for you is a content calendar. And so, as I said, even if you don't want to hear about voice posts, which we're going to talk about in a little second, even if you just log into this every day, we'll make sure that Debbie has the link for this so she can send it out to you and so on and so forth. If you just log into this every day and just execute on the type of content that we've put together here for you, this will radically change your world. And so the way to think about this is that you have a core idea. I'll just make sure that Zoom here is not taking up my whole screen. Okay, cool. And let's come in one. Can you guys see this clearly?
Yes, we can see it. And Viani, you might need to give me a different link because I have the edit link, and so I don't think you want to shoot edit link.
No. Let me actually get the non-edit link. Anyone with a link is a viewer. Cool. So this is the one. I'm just going to drop this in the chat here.
Perfect.
And then to you as well, Debbie. And if you want to send that out later, that's totally fine. So here we go. Okay, let me talk you guys through this gem. This thing, although incredibly simple, we have used this with 8-figure businesses. We've used this with 6-figure businesses. This is a universal, how do I make my life better and easier with content that produces authority and pull within the audience that I have. This is specifically done for the real estate market. Obviously, you might want to adapt it in a specific way based on the way that you are and the way that you talk and all these kind of things. So there are some core categories in this that I want you to just be aware of. And remember, the point of content is to generate affinity and authority in your market. It's not just information. People need to consume this and go, this is the person for me. When I have this specific issue, or if I have a friend who needs help, this is who I will refer them to. That's what we're trying to build here, an engine that brings you leads. So a couple of topics, core topics. We have affinity. Just going to read this out here for you. Affinity is creating posts where your ideal client sees themselves in your lifestyle, values, or daily reality, making them think, this agent gets me. They are like me, therefore I like them. And this is not about being fake or anything else. There are tons of people like you out there that want to work with someone like you. But if they don't know who you are, then that makes that very difficult. Like you'll just seem the way that everyone else seems. There's no extra pushing them towards you. And I'll show you content examples of this later on. This is a 4-week schedule, right? This is done on a per month basis. Obviously, only 1 month has 28 days, but you can just rinse and repeat this as a weekly schedule as it happens. Okay, I didn't want to create 12 months because that gets overly complicated. It's the same month over and over again. So we have affinity in number 1. We have a market update. So something like sharing current local market trends, data, interest rates, or inventory updates that position you as the go-to expert in your area. Again, I'll show you what these kind of pieces of content look like. Tuesday, new listings / just sold. So we're showcasing properties you've listed or closed to demonstrate you're active, successful, and the agent who gets the deal done. Authority, there's a couple of authorities here. In fact, I think there is one every week. That's right. So authority is demonstrating your expertise. Where are we? There we are. Credentials and track record to build trust and establish yourself as the local real estate expert. Again, I'll show you that. Thursday, buyer seller tips. Quick, actionable advice that helps your buyer or sellers navigate real estate process and positions you as the helpful resource. We'll skip through to the next weeks because a lot of these are repeats. You'll see that authority happens every Wednesday. Character happens every Saturday. Friday changes. Sunday's always affinity. So I want to walk through the different types as opposed to just calling every week. Character is personal posts that show who you are beyond real estate, your hobbies, your personality, and what makes you uniquely you. And to go back to what we were talking about in our presentation from earlier, the people that have a lot of pull, we know more about them than just what their job is. That's definitely true for anyone that I can think of that's highly successful. It's not just their job. We want to see what they're doing as people. And the structure of this isn't to make you an influencer, because I think that's not the right route to go for most types of businesses. But we have to harness a little bit of that to give people enough so that they get to know us, rather than us having to invest all that energy in each individual interaction from a one-on-one basis. So let's do another one here. This is the second Tuesday of the month. Neighborhood Spotlight. Highlighting specific areas, amenities, schools, and local gems to showcase your deep knowledge of the communities you serve. This is a really cool one because this could be a restaurant you went to that's really great. It could be the amazing new bakery that's opened down the block. It could be the school that your kids go to that's just built a really cool new playground, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You are engaging and you are live within your community, the people that you really care about. We've got a call to action. Direct call to action posts that guide prospects to take the next steps. Download a resource, book a call, or start their search. My ethos on this is people tend to not make enough offers. And so if we just make more offers, you will make more money. Don't make it so hard to buy from you, right? This is definitely something that we want to include all the time. Personal win, celebrating your recent successes, milestones, or closed deals to build credibility and show you're actively helping clients. And if you think about this from a structure, imagine that you were looking into someone's profile, a competitor perhaps, or whoever it might be, and you had a look at their Instagram or their LinkedIn or wherever they are doing this, and you saw regular posts about who they are, how the market's doing, the thing that they've just sold, this authority that they have, a tip for buyers or sellers, they just did a spotlight for the community that they're in, they have a personal win that they're sharing, there's a call to action. These are real human beings. Suddenly it feels like someone that you get to know, but they don't know that you exist yet necessarily. And that's the beauty of the online space, is that we can do this one to infinite piece. Now, I'm conscious of time. So I'm just I've given you the link, Debbie. I imagine you can email it out later anyway for anyone who happens to be on their phones and doesn't have access or anything like that. Correct?
Certainly, yes. And it is in the chat, and our chat master will email out the chat to anyone who needs it, who can't figure out how to download it themselves. So yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I've made this as accessible as I can, but I'm not an artist when it comes to putting stuff together like this. So I hope you guys appreciate that. I just want to drop on another one here. So we have, for example, a market recap here at the end of the month, an open house for a promo, local business love, and so on and so forth. And so you might say, cool, Viani, love it. I love your way of thinking, but I still don't really know if I could sit down and look at this in the morning and like type it out, and then how long would that take, and the structure and all this kind of other stuff. Well, this is why I created voice posts. So now it's time for that demo that we spoke about. And again, I want to emphasize, if you do nothing else, then take this calendar and just implement it, and you never use voice post, you will still win. So that is the core of what I want to talk about today. But voice post is the tool that I built to help specifically with this, because what we're seeing here is a universal issue in coaching, business consulting, agencies, real estate, any personal trainers, any business that could benefit massively from a presence online that positions themselves as an authority has the same problem that we're speaking about right now. Well, I can't really sit down and type it out, and I'm so busy showing houses and all this kind of other stuff. So how do we fix this? Well, I built a tool called Voice Post. We're going to drop the link to, let me just drop the link for this. One sec. Real estate Debbie. So I'm just going to drop this in our chat as well. Debbie, I know this is going to go out as well. I'm just going to put it here. If anyone wants to check this out, feel free. But what this does is, instead of you typing, you can just speak that thought into your phone. I'm showing you this on a desktop, obviously, because it's got a bigger screen, but this is a phone app. You can speak it into your phone in between meetings, as you're just looking around a house, you found something cool that you want to take a photo of. You've just been to this amazing bakery that does amazing buns. You want to take a photo of that, right? This is the tool that allows you to document as opposed to creating for the sake of creating. Now, how does this thing work? I'm going to show you two things. One, the super simple structure of I press record, I speak, and it shows me some stuff. Okay, so I'm now speaking some words, and when I click on stop in a couple of seconds, there will be a transcript of what I said. So this is how this works. You're on the go, you're pressing record, you just click it once, you speak the thoughts that you're having about that particular topic, and it'll then show you the transcript of what you said. That's what you're seeing here. Okay, that's step one. Step two in this, and you only have to set this up one time, is that you can have Voice Post write the way that you write or the way that anyone else writes. So you have by default three voices that are giving it to you, which is authority builder, which is like a B2B lead kind of person. You have operator, which is my personal favorite at the moment, even though I've created my own voice. I still think operator gets the job done super well. Operator is a zero frills, no BS, straight to the point. It reads really well on social media. And you have the intuitive creator, which is a slightly softer approach. But you can create your own voice, or you can indeed copy the voice of anyone that you like that sounds really great on social media. And so what you do is you select the voice that you want to use, and this creates content by default for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. And so for the X settings, you can set whether you have a subscription or whether you want this to be a single post format or in threads, the way that you want it to be. And so now you're in a situation, you have this app, you think it looks cool, but how does this really work? Well, let's go back to our content calendar. If we wanted to, for example, do a market update, well, I have written earlier here, or rather I spoke earlier, a transcript so that you don't have to watch me speak it now, right? You don't want to sit here for 2 minutes while I speak my thoughts into this, but here is what it would look like had I just recorded this, right? It generates the transcript. And remember, we've got this operator on and free and single for X. So all I do is I've recorded these thoughts and I press send. So what's going to happen now on the back end is that Voice Post is looking at the operator's example posts, their voice key, it's doing a whole bunch of magic, it's doing a whole bunch of things. And within 15, 20 seconds, it'll add a post here that you can see. And I'll show you that in a second. So you could go through this and say, okay, well, today is market update day. So I'm going to do a little bit of research, or I actually already know what I want to speak about, but I don't want to think about how to write it. So I'm just going to record some thoughts and put it out there. And so what would happen? Well, we can see this, right? This was just created just now. And this is how that transcript would be. I'm going to go back to the transcript really quickly, just so you can see that this was me just speaking, right? I'm even being very informal. Okay, so interest rates are sitting at about 6.7% right now. They've stabilized quite a bit compared to before, blah, 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 right? This isn't me structuring anything. This is me brain dumping the way that I'm thinking about this. And here is what it wrote. Interest rates just hit 6.75% for a 30-year fixed. And for the first time in months, they're actually staying put. No more daily bouncing around like we saw last month. Buyers can lock in and know what they're working with. Here's what's else shifted. Inventory is up 15% from last quarter. More homes hitting the market, and so on and so forth, right? This is structured. It reads like someone wrote it. It reads like this operator person wrote it, or if you wanted to write the way that you write, it'll write the way that you want to write. So this is how easy it is to make posts. We don't have to sit down for 30 minutes and format. We don't have to hire a VA to do it. We can just speak our thoughts. If we have a look at the next example here, we have new listing, right? So say we're on Tuesday. This is the 3rd day of the month. And we're like, yeah, do you know what? We have a really cool new listing that I actually want to show off. So what we would do is we would just, if we were at the listing, you might snap a few photos, you might grab some stuff, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. You've just spoken these thoughts into here. So we just press send. Again, voice post is going to go away. It's going to look at all of these example posts, all of the settings, if we have a custom call to action, all this kind of good stuff. And it's going to create that post for us right now. And you can use this every single day. So it takes 2 to 3 minutes to just record an idea. You can do it in 1 minute if you want, if it's not a very long idea. These are long ideas that we're putting in here. And so for this listing example, here it is. Just listed this gorgeous 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Maplewood. This one's special. Hit the market this morning and we're already getting a ton of interest. Walk in and there's this massive open concept living area with vaulted ceilings. The natural light in this place is insane. Kitchen was completely renovated last year, and so on and so forth. And to top it all off, if you're doing this on the go, because this is designed for on the go, what you can do is you're in that place, you've seen something really cool, you can take a few photos of where you are, and then on the go, you can just add them in here. Now, what will happen is that you can bulk prepare posts as you go around. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to require time. You can do it in between showings, you can do it on the go. And that's the whole point of voice post. Now, to post, it's really, really simple. We're going to add a scheduling functionality in this soon. It isn't there yet. At this point, to post, what you do, I'll show you the internal. We've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, right? You can see this is a small version of the X because we had it as free. And what you do is that you just click on the social media icon that you want to post to. And what will happen is, if I click on Facebook, it'll open up your Facebook app on your phone with that text copied. And if you've got media attached, it's going to ask you if you want to download that media to your phone so that you can immediately add it. And so that's literally all you have to do. You just paste it in, add that media that was just downloaded, if that's what you want to do. And that's content creation done super, super easily. So that's the end of the demo for me. It's a very simple product. It's designed to help you make your life much easier and to make this even easier than it already is with a content calendar like that. So that's me.
Excellent. Thank you, Viani. So one of the things that I want to say is that I want you guys to think of it slightly different or expanded on what Viani said. And think about you are out looking at houses with buyers and you see something really cool, really weird, really bad, and you want to educate your people about how you do what you do. Why are you the realtor to work with? Look what I noticed when we were out with my buyer today. You've taken a quick picture of it. All you did was talk about it quickly in the into voice post, and it's going to create a post for you that you can post right now immediately as you're out walking, doing your buyer showings, or you can have it in there to post later on. Sorry, a little bit conundrum here, but anyhow, so I want you to think about all the different things that you are out there and you see on a daily basis, and by the time you get back home and it's time for you to sit down and create content, you forgot all about all those things that you saw and that you could have taken in the moment and made these really cool posts. So, all of us agents who are out there on a daily basis, looking at houses, working with buyers, working with sellers, just think of how much content you could automatically create from the little things that you're doing. I'm so excited about how easy this is going to make our lives for creating that content to make us be the authority. Jim, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, Zoom crashed on my computers. Just when he's getting to the heart of the matter. I just want to does this strictly transcribe what you're saying into it, or does it actually create a voice?
I will show you that right now. I can't believe I left that out. That is like one of the main USPs. Thank you for bringing that up. So the transcription is the first piece. So I'll show you an example. Let's go to you can see it. Which one did we just do? Let me grab that. We just did we did the new listing, right? So this is the way that I would have spoken it. I want to talk to you about Riverside Park today because we've been getting, this is the one, new listing. All right, so we just listed this gorgeous 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Maplewood, and I had to share this with you guys because this one's special. It hit the right. This is all these things that we say when we speak, but these don't translate well into written. Nor is this streamlined for how things read well on social, because there's the science to it. Things that read well from a gravitational standpoint. So what VoicePost does is it takes your raw input, and it can be completely unstructured, the way that you would say this to a friend who is not bothered about how you would say things. You just say it, and then VoicePost will write it. It'll pull out what you're trying to say in the way that you would write it, right? So we don't have pure transcription. All this whole text here would be a giant block of text the way that you saw it on the other side, right? This is specifically pulling out key pieces, and it's optimized for social media for you, so you don't have to do that. Does that answer your question? And also, I know someone
I'm shaking my head. Yes, thank you.
No worries, absolutely. I know someone asked about price, and again, that's something that I should obviously talk about. VoicePost is $19 a month or $184 for the year.
Yeah,
the yearly comes with a whole bunch of bonuses.
Excellent. Viani, in the $19 a month, are we limited to how many posts we can make?
I will show you that right now. Also great questions. Let's go to subscription. Cool. Okay. Here is the plan walkthrough. The $19 a month gives you 30 voice posts per month. Bearing in mind that each one of these goes to all platforms. If you want to, that's 120 social posts. So you can get content for LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. So it writes like you, and you don't need to edit it at all. You can obviously if you want, but no need to. It writes like you or whoever you want to. It's got those 3 inbuilt voice styles that we spoke about today. You can add a custom call to action to a voice. So if you have something that you always want to say, for example, PS, if you need my help in selling your next house, DM me the word house, right? Like that could just be part of your call to action at the end of every text. You can set that up so it'll always add that to the end of every post. I personally use that feature a lot because I find that, as I said, if you make more offers, people just buy more, which is always great. And as I said, it's a 1 click to the app to then post it. So this is monthly. For the yearly, you get 360 posts added up front. So it's not 30 per month, it's 360 for the year. It's at a 20% discount. We'll also onboard you and we'll create the voice for you. So if you have someone who you really like the way that they write, you can say, hey, I really want to copy this person. Just let us know and we will create that voice for you so you don't have to. Equally, if you have a specific style and you're like, hey, I'm going to double down on me, then we can absolutely make it right the way that you write. All we would need is your social media posts so far. You also have priority support. We have a private creator group. You get weekly content counters sent straight to your email. And we also have an engagement group. So what happens is that daily, people that are in the engagement group post their posts and everyone else goes and likes it, comments, and so on and so forth. This is a mutually beneficial one, right? So we're going to do that for them and they're going to do it for us. So everybody wins. So this is the key difference between monthly and yearly.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else have I see Jose has his hand up.
First of all, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. Number one, can we do it in a different language like Spanish?
Absolutely. Let's test that right now. I speak Spanish. I live in Spain, so. Hola, hoy es el 2 de octubre. Vamos a hablar un poco de cómo podemos vender más casas. Let's just see what happens, right? This should say, hey, today's the 2nd of October. We're going to talk a bit about how we can sell more homes, right? So we'll see that popping up in a sec. While it does, Jenny, did you have another question? There it is,
Yes,
by the way.
I do have another question. My next question, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, here it is. This is Spanish. This will work in the vast majority of all major languages. You'd really have to try to get it to not be able to speak what you are speaking.
The question was, can we do it in English and then translate it into another language as well, as opposed to having to speak it?
Yes, for sure. So I'll show you how to do that. Let's do that right now. So in the settings, and I can record a private Loom for this, so maybe we don't need to go through this right now. But for example, in my voice, it's just a random voice that we have here, you could, in the formatting rules, say, translation rules, that I will speak in English, but always output the post in Spanish. And there you go. And so you can speak in English and it'll do it in Spanish for you.
Wonderful. My final question is, do you have training videos on the platform?
We absolutely do. So here you can see there's help docs. So you can click on help docs and it's going to take you straight to everything that you could ever want to know about this. If you have any questions outside of this, obviously support always available. We have a private group where you can message, but anything and everything that you would want to do with the app is in here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Great job.
Jenny, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple questions. So it says once you translate the voice into whatever you want to write, and then it's a single click that will post it to 4 different social media platforms, or I have to do
that
it
is coming soon. Yeah, really good question. Currently, no. The simple reason is that X doesn't like people doing that. It costs an absolute fortune, right? So X will probably never be that way. For everything else, it's a click to. So for example, if I wanted to click this on Facebook, I just click Facebook and then paste and post. If I wanted to do LinkedIn, I just click on LinkedIn. It's going to open up LinkedIn, just click and post. So it's a 2-click system as opposed to a 1-click system right now.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right. Viana, thank you. Oh, someone asks if there's a trial offer.
Again, how did I not mention that? All these great questions are things I should be immediately talking about. Yes, there is a 7-day trial for yearly and monthly. You can literally go in and trial it for free right now. You have 7 days. There is 0 obligations for you to keep going. That's the whole point of a trial, right? So just log in, try it out, and if you don't like it, cancel.
Perfect. And I dropped the chat in there again, so so we all have that link. Jackie, one last question.
Thanks. I did put it in the chat, but I guess I didn't pose it as a question. I currently post weekly on LinkedIn and Facebook. I get a good following. I have organically, I've grown it to over 500, I think, followers. And I have a few people that are consistently commenting. I've left Instagram because it overwhelms me. It's kind of like my Pinterest. I go down rabbit holes. And then I've never been on TikTok. Are those 2 platforms enough exposure? And do you have any suggestions? I make sure that I've dabbled in editing and all of this stuff, so I'm getting a little bit more tech savvy. I have a gimbal, so I'm learning that. Do you have any other suggestions? Maybe a couple more baby steps to get there, because I find posting daily very overwhelming.
Yeah, yes, of course. So 2 things to that. Posting daily is massively overwhelming if you have to write posts. If you just have to speak posts, it's really, really easy, right? But so what I would say from a daily, what is a baby step that we can take forward? Once a week is great. It might not be enough to get you what you want. Just go to 2 times a week for now. Keep it really, really simple. And when you find that 2 times a week, it comes to you and it's sustainable, then we can hit 3. Daily is a good place to be, but it isn't by any stretch of the imagination the only place to be. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. I just want to talk about which one of these you might want to prioritize in those kind of situations, because I think that's probably a question a lot of people have. And the other question is, you said, well, do I need to post on other platforms? The answer is, you will do much better posting on a single platform consistently than trying to be everywhere at once. So if you have to choose, just do the one thing well, rather than trying really hard to do all things. What I will say is that with voice posts, you're creating them anyway, so you might as well post them, right? There's 0 extra work going on other than you're clicking and then pasting. So if you did want extra platform exposure, this is like the easiest possible way that you can do it. The other way of thinking about it is that if you have virtual assistants or someone who posts for you, your content creation schedule is literally, I speak into voice posts and your assistant then goes and posts it everywhere, right? You can just create up a bank and then that person can do that for you. So to the third point there, if we're only doing 2 to 3 times a week, what are we really focusing on? I would always do the things that are crucial. Where are they? New listings just sold. The number one way that we can display authority and competence in our market is by just showing that we're good, right? That's the number one thing. So that by default will increase people's trust in us, right? This person's getting stuff done, therefore I trust that they will help me do stuff. So new listings just sold, open house, right? Like any of these stuff that are pure promotional. A lot of people don't want to promote too often. I'm hereby giving you permission. Do it. The more you do it, the more you will sell, right? Client story, testimonials, anything that's got a heartfelt story in it. People, a new family found their dream home. Someone managed to move their elderly parent into a bigger house with them because they actually bought a house that had more space so that they could look after them. Those things that tug at people's heartstrings, crucial, right? They really build a lot and they imply that you have a really good character, which you obviously do, but people don't necessarily know. And so if you were doing 2 to 3 times a week, just look at the week and say, think about, okay, what is the highest ROI one that I would pick right now? And just a word to the wise here, don't neglect character posts. I know it's a bit influencery, but if you think about this from a sales perspective, if you had you had to work with an accountant, right? Or someone who does something really important, are you more likely to work with the person that you know and like? Or are you more likely to go work with that stranger who seems fine, right? Like we're always going to drift towards the person who is most value in our network. Just seen a quick question here, and then Howell we'll get to Barbie saying also you can set up Facebook and IG to post to each other, kills two birds with one stone. Yep, exactly. So really easy. Cool, Howell, go for it.
Good morning. Thank you. Great presentation. Nice product. Is this strictly real estate related, or does the translation know about other markets? For example, commercial real estate, but yeah, that's real estate related, but say electrical contracting or something like that.
Yeah, really great question. Voice post, the input, if we get a little bit technical, the input that creates the output. So the input is your voice, what you have said. It'll then take that script and take this script and turn it into a post in a specific writing style. It can talk about anything. Anything that you have just spoken about, it can talk about. It's not subject specific. And then I think we probably have one more question, right, Debbie?
Can I have a question?
Yeah, this has to be super quick because we are not going to get a breakout room, and if we don't do it. So what you got, Jenny?
I have a question. I have 2 profiles, and one is a personal, one is for my real estate business. So when it comes to posting, would you recommend just simply post it on my business page for this?
Personally, yes. If you really want to separate them, especially if you have different writing styles, just really quickly, just set up one voice for each, and then just use a different one for that other post, right? So it's super easy.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have a quick question? Regarding the presentation authority, do I have to accept all cookie? Because I clicked into the link it asks,
What's that, sorry?
The presentation authority, do I have
Yeah.
to accept all cookie? Because it's asked.
Does it? Let me try and share it again. We'll make sure that you get access to that. I think Debbie, probably breakout room time, right?
Yeah,
The
definitely.
link is in the chat again.
Exactly 10 minutes left. So we're going to go into breakout rooms right now. You guys go to your rooms. Okay, guys, as we're coming back, I know breakout rooms were slightly shorter this week than normal, but hopefully you got some great conversation in with the people who were in your breakout room with you. I just dropped one last time the link in case you guys didn't get it, so that you can check out Voice Post and do your 1-week free trial. So Viani, thank you so much for being here this morning and sharing all of your great insight with us. I think it was super valuable, talking about building authority and how to go to do it. And honestly, you guys, you know that I'm always looking for tools and speakers and everything. And this tool for $19 a month, I think is just a jewel. It gives us so much value for such a low cost. I love these things. So thank you everyone for being here. We'll see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks, Viani, for your time this morning for us, afternoon for you.